Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to get
Wow.
into some AI stuff?
Always.
All right. So today we're looking at issue #83
Okay.
of Alessandro Perilli's newsletter,
Mm,
Perspectives Forge Destinies.
right. Yeah.
And this one has some really, really wild examples
Electricity.
of how people are looking at AI and what they're doing with it. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got AI artists
Uh-huh.
arguing about Photoshop skills. We've got musicians facing like an AI revolution.
Mhm.
We've even got a dead poet
What?
making a comeback on the radio
Oh, wow.
with AI. So
That's going to be interesting.
it's a wild ride.
All right.
Let's jump in.
That sounds good.
So right off the bat, Alessandro tells this story
Okay.
about getting into it with an award-winning AI artist
Ah.
on LinkedIn.
Oh, boy.
And the artist was like super insistent that to be a real AI artist,
So really
you have to also be a Photoshop expert.
Right.
And Alessandro's like,
interesting.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's interesting because I can see both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
On the one hand, like
Yeah.
Photoshop is sort of the industry standard for,
Right.
image editing.
Right. You got to know the basics at least.
Yeah. And you can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
But then Alessandro makes a really good point.
Yeah.
He compares it to like a film director.
Mm-hmm.
You don't expect the director to also be
Right.
the lighting technician and the sound engineer and the...
Yeah, and the makeup artist and all. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they bring in specialists for all that stuff.
Right. They have their own expertise.
Exactly. And I think his point is that with AI art,
Yeah.
the real expertise is in like mastering the AI tools themselves.
Yeah.
Like fine-tuning the models,
Yeah.
understanding the algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where the real cutting edge is.
Yeah.
And requiring everyone to also be a Photoshop expert is
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like diluting that expertise.
Yeah, it's like saying you have to be.
A master carpenter to use a power drill.
Exactly.
It's a tool.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's about knowing how to use the tool effectively.
And I think this gets to like a bigger question about how people see AI.
Mm.
Is it just another tool in your toolbox?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it like a chance to totally rethink how you work?
Right.
And maybe even like gain a competitive edge.
Huge difference, yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, like think about your own field.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see AI?
Yeah.
Is it a tool
Mm-hmm.
or is it something bigger?
Yeah. Because I think the way you answer that really shapes
everything.
what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to music because this is where it gets
Yes.
really interesting. Alessandro shares this story
Oh, okay.
from TechCrunch
Yeah.
about this company called Suno,
Suno.
which is an AI music generation company.
Okay.
And their CEO went to Berklee College of Music.
To talk to a songwriting class,
Oh,
I can
that's-
only imagine
I was going to say,
the tension in that room.
what was the vibe like?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, are you here to put us all out of a job?
Right.
But he actually tried to reassure them,
Okay.
and he compared it to what happened with photography.
Hmm?
Like, it's still an art form,
Right.
but it's a lot harder to make a living from it now
Yeah.
because everyone with the smartphone is like a decent photographer.
true,
You know?
Yeah.
So the barrier to entry got lower,
Mhm.
but it also forced photographers to level up.
Yeah.
They had to become
Right.
better storytellers,
Mhm.
better marketers,
Yep.
better business people.
Yeah, you got to build your brand.
Exactly. And I think that's the key takeaway for
Mhm.
musicians
Right.
in the age of AI.
Anyone really?
Anyone really?
Yeah.
Alessandro actually tested this out himself.
Oh, really?
He used ChatGPT to write some lyrics,
Okay.
which he said were terrible, by the way. But then he used Suno to create music for his daughter's 16th birthday.
Oh, wow.
And he said the music was incredible.
Really?
Like, totally indistinguishable from something a human composed.
That's both amazing
I know.
and a little scary at
Yeah.
the same time.
It is.
Yeah.
So what's the lesson here for you?
Right.
AI is raising the bar in every field.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to just be skilled anymore.
Right.
You also need to be a savvy marketer.
Yeah.
You need to build a strong personal brand.
Just the whole package now.
It's the whole package
Yeah.
to stand out.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit
Yeah.
and look at how AI is being used in some like
Okay.
unexpected places.
Yeah.
So we've got Amazon
Uh-huh.
using AI to summarize their Prime Video content.
Okay. That makes sense.
Makes it easier for viewers to decide what to watch, I guess.
Yeah. Help you sift through all
Yeah.
that content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've got Wendy's. Yeah, like the fast food chain, partnering with Palantir to
Interesting.
use AI for something completely different.
What's that?
Supply chain prediction.
Wow. I
No,
know.
right?
Like keeping track of the burgers and fries.
Yeah, basically.
Hey.
So like managing inventory,
Right.
making sure they don't run out of ingredients.
Right. Especially for those big, like,
Yeah.
frosty promotions.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder, like, what happens to the employees who used to handle all that?
Right. If AI is taking over those kind of jobs.
If AI is taking over the spreadsheet jockey jobs,
Right.
where do those people go?
It's a good question.
It is.
Yeah.
And here's another interesting thing Alessandro points out.
What's that?
The irony
Okay.
of Amazon, a company known for its AI prowess,
Yeah.
being seemingly blindsided by Palantir's success, selling these AI supply chain solutions.
So they were kind of caught off guard.
It's like they were so focused on their own internal AI applications that they missed the bigger picture.
The bigger market.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's a reminder that even tech giants can get tunnel vision.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're not immune to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen how AI is shaking things up in creative fields.
Yeah.
And even like the fast food industry. But there's one area that's been generating a lot of buzz lately.
What's that?
Video generation.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's talking about it.
Everybody's talking about it. But as Alessandro points out, the reality is that the technology is still pretty limited.
It's early days, yeah.
Yeah. He actually tracked an example of an AI model struggling to generate a video of characters opening and closing their mouths while screaming.
All right.
You'd think that would be simple.
You would think.
But apparently not.
Apparently not.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that the hype often gets ahead of the reality. But Alessandro does mention that there are some promising new models emerging, like Cog Video X and Mochi.
Okay.
And what's particularly interesting is that the landscape of innovation seems to be shifting.
In what way?
We're seeing Chinese AI trainers dominating the video generation space.
Interesting.
Which is kind of a contrast to the European dominance we've seen in static image generation.
Right.
So it makes you wonder, like, who's going to ultimately lead the way in AI development?
That's the question.
Could we see different regions specializing in different areas?
It's possible.
It's a fascinating landscape.
It is. Yeah, it's changing all the time.
It is so much to keep track of.
A lot to keep track of.
But that's why we do these deep dives.
Absolutely.
Right.
Got to stay informed.
Got to stay informed.
Yeah.
So we talked about AI changing music and even fast food.
Yeah.
But what about the art world? Because Alessandro talks about this New York Times article on this artist, David Sal. Who used AI in his latest exhibition.
Interesting.
And it really got me thinking about, like, the article explained that Sal basically trained an AI model on his own style. And his famous artworks. So kind of similar to what Alessandro does.
Right. Using AI to create art?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
What's that?
Sal's work is being shown in, like, prestigious galleries.
Yeah.
While Alessandro is still kind of trying to break into the scene.
Right. So what's the
difference?
Yeah, what's the difference? And I think it comes down to one word. Network. Sal has this reputation built over decades in the art world.
Yeah, he's got that.
He's got that now.
That name recognition.
Yeah, and that gives him access. And recognition that someone new to the scene just doesn't have.
It's like a built-in advantage almost.
It's like that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
Except now it's like.
It's not just what you create, it's who knows you created.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just anecdotal.
Right.
Alessandro brings up this research paper from Nature called Quantifying Reputation and Success in Art.
Wow.
And it basically proved.
So they, like, measured it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That your network and your initial reputation have a huge impact on your success as an artist.
Wow.
So in a world where AI is making it easier for anyone to create high-quality work, building a strong network and personal brand.
You gotta get your name out there.
It's more critical than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not enough to master the technical side of AI.
Right.
You also need to master the art.
of marketing and connecting with the right people.
Networking, yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears again to something a little more unconventional.
Okay.
Alessandro talks about this Polish radio station.
Interesting.
That used AI to interview a deceased Nobel laureate.
Oh, wow.
Wisława Szymborska.
So they brought her back.
Kind of.
With AI.
Yeah, it raises some thought-provoking questions.
Yeah, definitely.
About the potential of AI and, like, where we draw the line.
I mean, on the one hand, it's incredible that we can use AI to interact with voices from the past.
Yeah.
But on the other hand...
Yeah, it feels a bit strange.
Yeah, does it feel a bit like we're crossing a line?
Are we crossing a line?
By bringing back the voices of those who are no longer with us.
And the reactions to this interview highlight that complexity.
In what way?
Like, some people were fascinated. The radio station actually saw an increase in listenership.
Oh, so people tuned in.
To hear it. But others felt like it was disrespectful or even an attempt to replace human voices altogether.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
And what's interesting is that even Szymborska's estate, who gave permission for the use of her voice, they weren't thrilled with the final result.
Oh, wow. So they didn't like how it turned out.
They felt like the quality of the interview wasn't up to par.
So even with this advanced AI, it wasn't good enough.
It's a good reminder that even with advanced AI, we can't just expect amazing results by hitting a button.
You still need that human touch.
You still need that human touch. Skillful prompting direction.
You got to guide it.
Still crucial.
Yeah, it's still an art form.
It's still an art form.
Using these tools effectively.
And speaking of not so good results...
Oh, this is fun.
Alessandro mentioned something pretty funny.
I love that.
The same radio station that created this AI interview also has like these synthetic Gen Z radio hosts. And apparently their AI-generated images are pretty bad.
Oh, so not very good.
Like really bad.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a good reminder that AI, for all its potential, is still a tool.
Yeah.
We can't rely on it blindly.
Right. We can't just expect it to do everything for us.
Yeah, we need to bring our own skills and critical thinking to the table.
Yeah.
And it circles back to that initial debate about AI expertise.
Yeah.
If even AI-generated images require a human touch, then surely any kind of creative output,
whether it's
using AI,
art music writing,
can't be reduced to just pressing a button.
Exactly.
It's about understanding how to use these tools effectively.
Right. How to guide the AI to produce something truly meaningful.
And that's a skill.
And that's a skill.
That often gets overlooked.
Right. And all the hype.
And all the hype surrounding AI.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah.
What happens when everyone has access to these incredibly powerful AI tools?
But that is the question.
It's like...
It's the million-dollar question, right?
What we can see from all these stories is that AI is not just...
It's not just a
technological revolution.
Technological revolution.
It's a cultural and societal one.
It's changing everything.
It's forcing us to rethink our values.
Our assumptions.
Our assumptions.
Yeah.
And even what it means to be an expert.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to perspective. How we view AI and its potential will shape not only our own careers, but the future of our world.
Yeah, we're all navigating this uncharted territory together.
Yeah, and it's up to each of us.
It is.
To decide how we want to engage.
Yeah, how we want.
With this transformative technology. It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has been.
Exploring how AI is impacting...
everything.
Everything.
Yeah, from art and music.
From art and music.
To supply chains.
To supply chains, to the very way we think about expertise and success.
It's amazing.
It's kind of crazy to think about all these different ways people are using AI.
Yeah.
It seems like some people are really embracing like the radical changes while others are kind of resisting it.
It's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
It all comes back to perspective. I think, remember that LinkedIn debate we talked about?
Oh, yeah, with the AI artist and Photoshop.
Yeah, that's like a perfect example of this tension.
Yeah, some people clinging to the old ways and others diving headfirst into this.
Into the unknown.
Yeah.
And that choice, like how you view AI, I think can really impact your future.
Yeah.
Think about those musicians facing AI music generation, the ones who adapt. embrace marketing and branding,
Yep.
they'll probably thrive.
Yeah.
But those who resist,
Yeah.
try to hold on to the old model, they might get left behind.
It's like AI is forcing us to evolve.
Yeah.
Not just our skills,
Right.
but our mindsets too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just in those creative fields either.
Right.
Remember those spreadsheet jockey jobs?
Yeah.
AI's coming for those too. So the question is, are you going to let AI replace you?
Oh.
Or are you going to learn to use it to enhance your role?
Right.
Maybe even create a whole new role for yourself.
It's almost like with every job, you have to figure out, like, what's the AI version of this and how can I be the person doing that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that takes a certain mindset.
It does. It takes being open to change.
Absolutely.
And willing to learn.
And constantly learning.
Constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is changing so fast.
It is.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up.
Okay.
There's one more thing from Alessandro's newsletter I wanted to touch on.
Oh.
Remember all that buzz?
About video generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the tech is still pretty rough.
It is. Yeah.
He even shared that example of the AI struggling with characters opening and closing their mouths.
While screaming.
Yeah.
Which you'd think would be easy.
Right.
But yeah, the hype gets ahead of the reality sometimes.
It really does.
Yeah.
But there's still so much excitement in this area.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of investment.
Alessandro mentioned Cog Video X and Mochi.
Yeah. Those are some promising models.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
It seems like there's a shift happening.
Yeah.
In who's leading the way.
In what way?
Like, European developers have been dominating static image generation.
Right.
But it's Chinese AI trainers.
Oh, wow.
Who are leading the charge in video generation.
That's a big deal.
It is, yeah.
It suggests that this race for AI dominance is like...
Yeah, it's heating up.
Yeah, and different regions are going to specialize.
It makes you wonder what this means for the future.
Yeah. Will we see more specialization?
Yeah, more competition.
So many questions.
A lot of questions.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
We've seen how AI is impacting everything.
I mean, from art to music.
Yeah.
To supply chains.
To the way we think about expertise.
And success.
And the key takeaway.
Yeah.
The thing that ties all these stories together.
What's that?
Is that AI is a force for change.
Huge force for change.
And it's up to each of us to decide how we're going to respond.
Yeah. Are we going to embrace it?
Yeah.
Adapt and maybe even use it to our advantage.
Or are we going to resist?
Right.
And risk being left behind?
The choice is yours.
Our perspectives forge our destinies.
That's a good one.
That's right, from Alessandro's newsletter.
Yep.
So as you go about your day, think about the stories we discussed.
Yeah.
Think about how AI is already impacting your world.
Yeah. How is it showing up in your life?
And how it might impact your future.
Yeah. What changes are coming?
And most importantly,
yeah.
What do you want your role to be in this AI revolution?
That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
All right.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll catch you next time.
Okay.